Hi, I'm Sukriti, and in this video, I'm reviewing The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness by Morgan Housel. In 2018, Morgan Housel had published a report outlining 20 most important flaws, biases, and causes of bad behavior that he had observed affecting people when dealing with money. This book, The Psychology of Money, was published in 2020, and it's a deeper dive into the earlier published report. The book consists of short stories that convince the reader that our behavior with money is more important than knowing the technical side of money. In the words of author himself, the premise of the book is that doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. And behavior is hard to teach even to really smart people. Now, in my opinion, this book is a free flowing river of extremely good financial advice, which is quite easy to understand. I'm not the best person when it comes to personal finance because I'm short sighted. Also, I'm risk averse. And books like this help people like me in understanding how broad the horizons of personal finance are and how there's only so much under our control. Also, it was after a very long time that I read a book which contained words which I had to look up in Google, of course. Dictionaries are more or less obsolete now. The best thing about this book is that it doesn't throw financial jargons at you. It's not trying to educate you on the concepts of finance or economy. The way Morgan has written this book, it's easy to understand and follow what he's saying. It does take a certain level of maturity and experience to understand what is in this book, but it doesn't really twist your brain too much. And you don't need to go back and reread any of the sections. Morgan explains the world as it is, and it'll be beneficial if you know a little bit about stock markets. So when people make financial decisions, say for example, investing in stock market or selling the stocks, we think that the decisions are more often or not made by utilizing historical market data and trends. But the data doesn't factor in the human interference. And it is this human interference and the emotional factors that affect the markets. This is something which the book explains quite nicely. It tells you that people have always tried to predict what's going to happen next using different models and techniques, but not many are successful. Most of the things don't follow any set logics or patterns. And if you understand that fact, you'll be at ease with yourself. This book talks a lot about compounding. In simple terms, compounding is a process where investment returns themselves generate future gains. The value of an investment can increase exponentially because the growth is earned on both initial sum of money plus the accumulated wealth. So when we save consistently, we allow the wonders of compounding to do their work. It's about small and efficient decisions one can make with their money and reap the benefits over time. Speaking about time, there's a chapter which talks about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the wealthiest people in the world, and he's widely considered to be the most successful investor of the 20th century. Morgan Housel tells us something about Warren Buffett that others don't. What he tells us is that Warren had been investing since the age of 10. So, in fact, the secret to Warren's wealth is not just his insane investment skills, but also his timely investments. Of course, not everyone can start investing at the age of 10, but it's never too late. Coming to the key takeaways, now this is the hardest part because there's just so much to learn from this book. For me, here are the best lessons, but before that, a disclaimer. There are so many people on the internet who've tried to summarize the book. You'll also find many videos on YouTube which will tell you about the top 5, top 10, top 20 lessons from this book. In fact, after a while, this video will also appear amongst those videos. I'm not saying that they are saying something wrong or that you should not watch such videos. I'm just saying that you need to read this book if you really want to benefit from it, because every one of us is different, and this book will have different impact on different individuals depending upon the stage of life and finances we are at. And with that, here are the top learnings for me. Number 1. The hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. What does this mean? We should have ambitious financial goals, but need to decide when it is enough. One house is paid for, let's buy another one. But should we aim for a third one? We should know when it is enough because modern capitalism will make us feel that it's never enough. Number two, ceiling of social comparison is so high that no one will ever hit it. That means if I have X amount of money with me today and my friend has X plus Y, I would want to have X plus Y. Then once I attain that, because my sister has X plus Y plus Z amount, I would want to have that amount. And then comparisons will never end, and I'll always look at someone who has more than me, and I'd want that. So it's a never ending cycle. Number three, invest consistently and don't expect overnight returns. Like a lot of people of our generation, I expected to get a good return on crypto, but as luck had it, I invested a good chunk of money and all cryptocurrencies tanked. However, my monthly SIP, that is systematic investment plan, in mutual funds has been going steady since the day I started my corporate journey. And when I look at it now, the growth is not just satisfactory, but also delightful. That didn't happen overnight. It's been well over 72 months since I began that journey, and that's what gives me happiness. Number four, you plan, God laughs. Now we can carefully plan out every single investment that we're going to make, but the returns are never going to be in our control. So we need to have a plan if our plan doesn't go according to the plan. Also, it's always better to be frugal while investing because it could go either way. We need to be okay when things go wrong because things can go wrong 50% of the times. But the rest 50% of the times when they go right, all our losses can be offset. Number five, the last one. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. This seems extremely simple now that I'm reading it aloud, that nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. There are a lot of good things in life, and there are a lot of great things in life. But it's important to remember that if something seems too good to be true, it usually is. Also, no matter how bad things get, the sun will always rise tomorrow. By now, it must have been evident that this book is not about getting rich in a day. And it's full of not just financial lessons, but also a lot of life lessons. Reading it once is not enough. It'll give you a new perspective every time you reread it. Let me know if you have any suggestions for books for me, or if you came here from my Instagram, let me know which book you'd like me to review next. And also, do share your review on this book, especially if this review inspired you to read it. Until next time, take care and keep learning.